Hi and welcome to Next Stage Tutorials. In today's lesson, we're going to be looking at some simple steps and turns from the ice that you can practice at home. So let's get started. So no doubt that all skaters would rather be on the ice practicing their steps and their turns, but sometimes it's just not possible, whether that's because you live too far away, or the ice rink might be closed for the holidays, or maybe there's a global pandemic and the ice rink still isn't open. But the great news is that we can still practice some steps and turns at home, and it's really not a big deal. Maybe they're not quite like they are on the ice, but it can still give us a great feeling and some great movements so that when we are back on the ice, it feels like we haven't left. So in today's lesson, we're going to look at some simple steps, some simple turns, and we're just going to focus on the little things that you should check at home off the ice so that when the ice rink does open up, you're ready to go. Okay, so the first step we're going to look at is a Mohawk, or otherwise known recently as a CStep. Now with this simple step, what we're going to want to do is start with a bar or with a wall. Just something that you can get used to it, put your hands on, so then you can really focus on your feet and what's going on down there. Today I've got a nice bar behind me, so I'm just going to use that one to start, and then we're going to bring it off. Now on the ice, we know that a Mohawk or a CStep works from a forwards inside to a backwards inside. So that's all I really want to practice today, getting used to that and how it feels off the ice. Now you can face the bar, but today I just want to face you so it's more open, you can see what's going on. So I put my hands behind me on the bar, making sure I've got balance. And then from here, I'm going to pretend that I'm skating on my left foot and then forwards. And then I change feet, bring my right foot into my left foot and change. And it is as simple as that. I know that seems maybe too simple, but it really is that simple. But what this allows us to do is focus on everything else. We're going to focus on our chin up, shoulders back, arms in a nice position if they're not on the bar, and then a nice stretched leg. So let's do it one more time. So I push and then change and push back. So that seems really simple. Let's have a look at it now off the bar and what it can look like just on the floor. I'm going to simulate a push, so I'm going to push my right leg to my left leg, making sure that I'm really focusing on everything's up and held nicely. I push on my left leg, I've got balance, right leg in, and change. And you'll see there that all I'm really focusing on off the floor is balance. That's the main thing I really want to focus on. After that, I'm holding everything up and I'm focusing on this. Of course, the major difference is compared to the ice is that we're not moving, we're not gliding, so I'm not going anywhere. So you really can't focus on the edge, the speed, how quickly it happens. So all we can really focus on, and it's a great way to do it, all that position, making sure it looks nice and making sure I've got great balance. Let's have a look at it one more time. So from here, and left foot, balance, right foot, hold it. And it's as simple as that. So make sure you practice it, and it can really give you a great understanding for when you take it back to the ice. All right, so we've done that Mohawk, now let's do a turn. Let's do a forwards outside 3 turn. Now on the ice, we obviously don't hop through a turn, we're on the ice the whole time. But for right now and on the ground, what I like to do is, I like to do a small little hop that sort of simulates that turn. Otherwise on the ground, your foot has a lot of friction and it can get stuck. So my left arm is going to be on the bar, and as I pretend to push forward onto that left foot, I'm going to move that right arm to the front and then help my shoulders with the bar to make that turn. I am going to do that little hop, so have a look out for that. So my right arm's behind, my left arm's on the bar, and I push, arms are on the bar, and a little hop. And there it is. So you can see how easy that looks on the bar. I can make sure that I've got my balance, I can use the bar to help myself a little bit, but don't rely on the bar to hold you up. So it's just there just in case to begin with, and see how that feels and how that works. Let's have a look one more time. I push, use the bar, and hold. Okay, that was great. So let's have a look at it and what that can look like now off the bar or away from the wall, out in the open. So we spoke about the hop that you can use on the bar, and I'm still going to use that here because without the ice, my foot obviously has a lot more friction on the carpet or on the ground, and it can get stuck. So what I like to do is use a little hop just to help initiate that 3 turn and help simulate it. So we're going to start here, right arm's behind, left arm's in front. I push, balance, and turn. Whoops. And making sure you've got balance. So as simple as that, the same things that we were working on with the Mohawk. really just focusing on that balance, focusing on that position. Those are your two main things that you really want to focus on. Well, let's have a look one more time. So arms behind, left arm in front. I push a little bit quicker and turn. And you'll see that time my balance was much easier. So sometimes you can go probably a little too slow with the quickness of the turn, and you'll feel that your balance maybe just shakes a little bit too much. So sometimes a little bit more rhythm can really help that turn to initiate and fix it. Okay, so for the next turn, we're gonna look at Twizzles. Now there's many different types of Twizzles, but today we're just gonna look at a forwards inside Twizzle, just because it's probably the most simple Twizzle that we can do. So off the ice, what we're gonna wanna do is just do a nice straight sort of direction. On the ice, you'll feel a bit more of a curve, obviously because of the blades and the edges. So for right now, I'm gonna do a Twizzle on my right leg, and I'm gonna be going toward you. And what I'm really gonna focus on is obviously on the ice, I don't have to do hops, but here I will, obviously because of the friction. So I'm gonna start with left arm in front, right arm behind, and then from here, I'm gonna step onto my right leg and then do hops as though I'm doing a Twizzle. So we'll have a look, left arm, right arm, step and Twizzle. Stop. And you'll notice that I did try and spot towards my direction, just like we would on the ice. So spotting, spotting, and then finishing. Other things you may notice, arms sort of tight in front, legs tight to my other leg, and then I'm continuously hopping. I'm not doing that on the ice, but here we have to, obviously, because of the friction that we have with our feet and the carpet. So let's have a look at one more time. So I set up, left foot, right foot, arm behind, and then I whip into it, and finish. And it would be the same with all the other Twizzles. Forwards outside, back inside. They're all very similar. So it's the same concept everywhere, and you can really get a feel for that off the ice, and then you're ready to take it to the ice. Okay, so for the final movement that we're gonna look at from on the ice and take it off the ice is a forwards crossover. Now forwards crossovers, while they are simple enough to understand and learn how to do, they can be quite tricky to really master and really get speed out of them. The main thing off the ice that you really want to work on is the same thing that we were looking at with our turns. So obviously we don't have those edges that we can use. So what I really want to focus on is a nice position and then extension of legs, extension of the other leg. If you can do this when you come onto the ice, ideally those things are already taken care of. You've focused on them off the ice. So when you come on the ice, you can really focus on those edges and the speed and the quality of your skating. So what I want to do, I'm just going to do a forwards inside, and what I want to do is think about that circle and really focus on my upper body and my legs. So for right now, I'm going to start with my arms, and I'm just going to do some really light sort of movements, nothing too crazy, nothing too heavy. So from here, I'm going to do push and cross, push and cross, push and cross. Now you see you do get quite stuck, but that's just one of the things that we have to deal with when doing crossovers off the ice. Let's have a look one more time and try to notice, again, that position that I'm really trying to feel as I do the crossovers. So position and push and cross, push and cross, push and cross. Now you may find that you need a bigger circle, which is fine. I'm just trying to really stay in view here. So maybe if I was off camera, I'd make my circles a little bit bigger. And other things you can do is quicken up the tempo, slow down the tempo, whatever suits you and your needs that you think you need to work on the ice. Okay, so there you have it. Those are the movements from on the ice that we can practice off the ice. Now there is many more movements. We can start to place them together and connect them with other different turns and steps. But these four are a great basic starting spot to really get a feel for off the ice and how those turns and movements can work. Now just a few things that I really want you to focus on. On the 3-turn and the Mohawk specifically, it's really about balance. Making sure we've got balance on that foot before and after the turn. If you don't have balance, I really struggle to see what benefits you're really getting out of off the ice movements. If you do those steps without balance and you're putting that other foot down, you're really just sort of giving yourself a hindrance for when you take it back to the ice. You'll find on the ice, you may put your other foot down and it's just not gonna help you. You're gonna get frustrated. So really focus on those things off the ice first. With the Twizzles off the ice, again, it's all about position. And the same with crossovers. It's all about position, all about working on those upper body, your free leg, making sure all those elements and movements are really done with a nice position. This is the place to practice it. If you can focus on that here, when you get on the ice, you can really worry about your skating. So hopefully you got something out of today's lesson. Hope you really enjoyed it. And we can't wait to see you on our next lesson when we do some trickier steps off the ice.